On March 18, 2026, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency announced what it called bold action to keep microplastics out of your drinking water. This was a first, a major federal regulator naming microplastics as a public health priority in water. And yet, if you called the EPA that same day and asked what those microplastics are actually doing to your body, they could not give you a clear answer. Not because they are hiding something. Because the world's best scientists cannot give that answer either. The policy is moving faster than the proof. So let me tell you what the science has actually established. Microplastics are fragments smaller than 5 millimeters, and nanoplastics are even smaller, measured in micrometers or nanometers. Both have been confirmed in human blood. They have been found in human organs. They have been detected in placenta tissue, and they have been found in brain tissue. This is not one rogue study. The Oxford Journal of Science and Science published a comprehensive review in March 2026. Stanford Medicine has reported on it. Nature has documented it. Multiple independent sources now agree on this point. You are carrying microplastics inside you right now. Here is where it gets uncomfortable. Finding something is not the same as understanding it. The central question is not whether microplastics are in you. They are. The question is whether the levels you are carrying cause any meaningful harm to your health. And on that question, the science is genuinely uncertain. Not evasive, not cautious in a political way, just honestly incomplete. The Australian Centre for Disease Control released a major evidence review in April 2026. They described potential associations and plausible biological processes. That wording matters. Potential, plausible, not confirmed. You might wonder why this is so hard to figure out. We have studies, after all, lots of them. But here is what Harvard's School of Public Health said, and I want you to hear how carefully they phrased this. They said that the usability of preclinical studies to infer human health impacts is difficult, because there are significant differences in biological complexity between rodents, cell line or organoid studies, and what happens in a living human body. That is a rare moment of scientific humility. What damages a cell in a petri dish may not damage you. What harms a mouse may not harm you. Your body is not a simplified model. That said, laboratory research has identified some biological mechanisms that could lead to harm. Reviews published by Springer and Science Direct have pointed to oxidative stress as one pathway. Inflammation is another. These are real responses that your body has to foreign particles. When microplastics enter cells, they can cause cellular stress responses. In controlled settings, researchers have observed this happening. The problem is that observing a mechanism in isolation is very different from proving that mechanism causes disease in a whole living person over years of real-world exposure. Then there is the finding that gets the most attention. Microplastics have been detected in brain tissue. This raises an obvious and unsettling question. How did they get there? Your brain is protected by the blood-brain barrier, a biological filter that was long assumed to block most foreign particles. If plastic nanoparticles are crossing that barrier, it challenges a basic assumption about how protective that system really is. In April 2026, Psychology Today published an article suggesting microplastics may harm mental health. I want to be straightforward with you here. That is not a peer-reviewed finding. PolitiFact fact-checked some of these claims the same month. The brain angle is plausible, but it is not yet proven. There is another layer to this uncertainty that rarely gets discussed. The methods we use to detect microplastics in human samples are themselves limited. A Springer review from 2026 critically evaluated current detection techniques and found significant problems. If the tools we use to find microplastics are inadequate, then the entire evidence base rests on uncertain ground. We may be finding some particles and missing others. We may be misidentifying what we find. This is not a small technical footnote. It means that both the case for harm and the case for safety are built on methods that researchers themselves say need improvement. So given all this uncertainty, why did the EPA act? And why is the Australian CDC commissioning systematic reviews of the evidence? This is a philosophical choice, not just a scientific one. It is called the precautionary principle. The idea is that if something might cause widespread harm, you do not wait for absolute proof before taking reasonable steps to reduce exposure. The EPA decided that the possibility of harm was enough to justify action on drinking water. Some scientists agree with this approach. Others worry that regulating before the evidence is clear could undermine public trust if the harm never materializes. Both positions are intellectually honest. Part of what makes this so difficult to think about is the sheer scale. Microplastics have been found in marine environments, in soil, in freshwater systems, and in the atmosphere. They are in the water you drink. They are in the food you eat. Nature published a review in October 2025 documenting microplastics and nanoplastics in the human diet as a major exposure pathway. They are in the air you breathe. A 2026 report from Wiley Online Library noted that this problem is so broad that no single discipline can answer it alone. They proposed a conceptual framework that bridges environmental science, medical research, and public health. Because this is not a niche issue. It is a whole-body exposure scenario. So what do you do with this information? You cannot practically opt out of microplastic exposure right now. It is in your tap water, your bottled water, your food, your air. Some choices might reduce your exposure at the margins. Avoiding plastic food containers when possible, drinking filtered water, reducing single-use plastic in your home. But the honest truth is that these are small gestures against a large systemic problem. What you can do is hold the right level of concern. Not panic, which is not supported by the evidence, but not dismissiveness either, which is also not supported. The intellectually honest position right now is simply this: we know you are exposed. We do not know what it means. There is something uncomfortable about living inside an experiment you did not sign up for. Microplastics are inside you. They are inside me. They are inside everyone we know. The science is racing to catch up, and regulators have already started making decisions that will affect your water supply, your food packaging, your daily environment. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, we will have clear answers about what these particles are doing to us. Maybe we will learn that the risk was always small. Maybe we will learn it was not. For now, the most honest thing anyone can tell you is that the question is still open, and you are living inside it.